A story we told you about earlier in the newscast, the new findings from the GBI on the Valentine's Day treats that made students at Sandtown Middle in Fulton County sick. Testing showed the presence of THC, an active ingredient in cannabis, in the cereal treats. Students returned to class yesterday for the first time since 28 kids were sent to the hospital. Now, those who ate those treats reported disorientation, hallucinations, watery red eyes, and crying on and off. 11 Live medical correspondent Dr. Sujatha Reddy joining us now. And Dr. Reddy, people might be familiar with some of the impacts, the effects that we see with smoking marijuana, but when you're ingesting THC, what do we see with that, especially in kids?
You know, the good news here is I think this one exposure to the THC in these Rice Krispie treats is not going to harm these children. Having said that, I don't think anyone wants these kids to be exposed, obviously, or any kids long-term to marijuana, because there can be effects. But to answer your question, the way you smoke marijuana and how it affects you is different than if you eat it or ingest it. Smoking marijuana gives you a much more rapid, shorter high. With eating marijuana, it usually is slower onset and may last a little bit longer, but in general, the effects are going to be the same. But again, I think because it was hopefully a one-time exposure for these children, they should have no long-term effects from having eaten these treats.
No long-term effects. So do we know much about how long it could stay in their systems?
So, you know, it depends on how much they actually ate. It also depends on their body weight. If they took a drug test, it may take several days to get out of their bloodstream, but luckily the effects of eating it, the high, and the effects that they had when they didn't feel good should have only lasted them, you know, maybe about 4 to 6 hours.
And these are young kids, middle school, that we're talking about. What should parents know and kind of know about this, and can they even tell that this has happened with their child?
Yeah, I think you may have noticed behavior changes, like these kids were talking about not feeling good and having hallucinations. But I think as parents and you're talking to your kids, there is no way I think you can taste the THC in the Rice Krispie treat. So unfortunately, there's not much to tell your child. I think we just have to tell the kids to not take homemade treats or any kind of treat or anything really to ingest from someone you don't know. Only trust the people or take something from people you trust, not from someone you may not know very well.
All right, Dr. Reddy, thank you so much. Always got to be extra careful.